Well, we're going to lead things off with Hawkeye. Hawkeye,
Yes.
the latest series from the Marvel Cinematic Universe over on Disney Plus streaming. Episodes 1 and 2 were made available the day before Thanksgiving, a little pre-Thanksgiving feast. We're just going to go, here's the thing. If you have not watched Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2 and you intend to, skip this to the next section. It's time stamped because we're going to go straight into spoilers. Okay. So spoilers are incoming. Yeah. For Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2. Episode number 1 sees a very young Kate Bishop observe Hawkeye defeat some Chitauri in the 2012 Battle of New York and decides to take up the bow and arrow. The opening theme takes us through her prominent years as she learns martial arts and archery to become a formidable foe. Meanwhile, Clint is on a trip to the Big Apple with his kids for Christmas fun and Rogers the Musical. And we see the toll that being an Avenger has taken on him. Kate attends a charity auction with her rich mother and soon-to-be stepfather, Jack. But this auction, much like a mullet, business in the front, party in the back, where they're dealing black market trinkets, including Hawkeye's Ronin suit and sword. After the auction is burglarized and the baddies are looking for a watch of some sort, Kate makes off with the Hawkeye suit, saving a one-eyed dog in the process, only to meet her hero, who is looking for his suit after she is spotted on the news. Episode 2, we'll just take them Thanksgiving style. We'll just do it that way. The tracksuit mafia is after Kate, and Hawkeye is after his suit. She suspects Jack has murdered his uncle Armand III. Meanwhile, Clint LARPs his way to getting the missing suit, and then decides to take down the tracksuit mafia, getting himself caught. Kate tries to rescue him and also gets caught. As the credits roll, they're about to meet the tracksuit's boss, who seems like she's possibly one of the Black Widows. If you saw the film Black Widow, you can check out our review on YouTube. It's worth noting director Rhys Thomas confirmed that Hawkeye takes place 2 years after the events of Endgame, making it the latest dated in terms of timeline phase 4 project to date. But given the Loki situation, who the fuck knows what the timelines are
Right.
at this point. So episodes 1 and 2, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts were, number one, really good. I texted you, like, this has a ton of potential. I know it's 6 episodes, but I thought keeping to like the actual Marvel universe and things like that, it was exactly what you wanted from Hawkeye. Like, it's grounded. It's not like there's not a lot of space there. There's nothing beyond. What I mean is, like, there's not a lot of space outside of that area. Not just like space, outer space, but there's this area of Hawkeye's life, which is really cool. And I thought that was just like a good way to deal with it. We're not dealing with anything else other than he needs his suit back. We may have some Black Widow stuff, which still deals with Hawkeye. And I'd like the self-containedness of this because, you and I have talked about, the way the movies are and where we project is, going into the multiverse is going to be so bonkers.
Yeah.
And there's nothing bonkers about this.
Right.
Like, Kate Bishop's in college, takes a bow and arrow to hit a bell, and like that's the biggest thing ever to her. And that was awesome to me. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing that could happen to her because she's just a kid in college and this bell comes down. And then there's like, the black market stuff with his suit, which I was like confused about how they got the suit. That was like not confused in a bad way. Like, I'm not like, oh, there's a missing link, but I'm sure there's something that'll, come together with that. But I thought that was a cool little setup for this. I think Jeremy Renner has just a good rapport with pretty much anybody he works with. But it seems like he and Kate Bishop have like extremely good rapport, and that made me excited. So my thoughts, with this would be, this is going to be even more grounded than Captain America and the Winter Soldier at this point. It's more grounded than that. It feels like this is probably just a 1-season show, which is fine with me. And it also is just, it's cool to have Hawkeye around because it seems like Hawkeye is one of those characters that like no one is against, but he's not cool. Like, he has no actual superpowers other than he's very accurate.
Right.
And this was a good thing of that. It's like, okay, Kate Bishop, same thing. no superpowers other than she's very accurate and knows martial arts. So
Right.
I thought the first 2 episodes were a very cool way of representing that. Nothing outlandish. Like everything that kind of happened in these first 2 episodes, which I looked at as kind of one solo movie almost.
Yeah.
We're all realistic. There was nothing here that I was like, well, this is insane. This doesn't seem like this could happen. So I really like that. I like the realistic view of that. And I know that, the good Marvel, like all the, Marvel stuff going forward, it's not necessarily going to be a realistic, and I'll still like it. But this was cool that they did something like this that was realistic, grounded, and good.
Yeah. I think that they've always done a good job with this character by leaning into the fact that he's just a dude.
Yeah.
I think I go back to Age of Ultron when he's giving Scarlet Witch the pep talk and he's like, there's robots, the sky, we're on a flying thing. I'm shooting a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
Right.
And I think that they did a really nice job. They've always done a really nice job of leaning into him just being a guy. And I also think that they did a very good job of showing the toll that is taken on somebody in this quote unquote line of work. He's got a hearing aid. Oh, why do you have a hearing aid? And it shows him going through all these explosions. He's got a bad back. He's got, he's beat to hell pretty much. The watch that they were after, that I think the dog snag also said Avengers headquarters, I believe, on it. And that's kind of weird to me because there's almost an implication that after everything that went down with Thanos in Endgame was they just clean up crew. And we really don't know what's come of the Avengers facility since that time, because it did get pretty much annihilated. If you think about where the scenes happen, they all happen in like Tony's cabin after, the final battle. So I guess that might go a little bit into, as we move a little bit further, go into kind of what happened with the Avengers headquarters after the battle in Endgame. I thought that they did a really nice job with the first episode of kind of using the opening credits, theme song, montage, whatever, to kind of show how she went from, okay, she's this little girl to now she's this archer, martial arts, whatever. It kind of gave you the sense of she can handle herself.
Right.
And I liked that, despite the fact that they're kind of positioning her to be the next Hawkeye, in so much as she's like a protege of his, that she's formidable, but she's also a 22-year-old girl and she took some lumps versus just being a straight ass kicker, which I appreciated, because that would have been not super believable. Because like at the end of the day, size matters. And even if you're a 22-year-old girl that can handle herself, like the odds of you being able to fend off a like 30-year-old guy who's built is not great. You know what I mean? So I did.
Like she even know how to put a bandage on correctly, which I really like that scene too. Is like, you don't even know how to do this. Like, what are we doing here? I thought that was a good scene.
Yeah, I liked. So that's kind of my thoughts. Episode 1. Episode 2, her story was a little bit less interesting. She's doing the whole thing with stepdad, who I had to look him up because I was certain he was a Fast and Furious villain, but he's actually probably most well known for Better Call Saul. The LARPing was incredible. I loved that.
Me too. Yeah.
And I think that even plays into Clint just being a guy, because if Thor rolls up and somebody's got his outfit on, or like if somebody's carrying around Captain America's shield, or somebody's carrying around a pulsar cannon that Iron Man has, they're just going to kick their ass and take it. But like Clint was like, okay, God, whatever we got to do, we got to put on a show. Okay, we'll put on a show. I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I think that of all of the Avengers, he is consistently the most relatable, because he's just a guy. I mean, Natasha's that way too. She's just a girl.
But she's been through some stuff. Like,
but he has too. You know what I mean?
She's been, she did have her reproductive organs removed though.
Right.
And so there's like a thing where she is just like a killer mentality based purely on things like he doesn't really have we don't know his background enough to know the vengeance of what he has.
Well, I mean, we kind of saw that with the Ronin character.
But I mean, before, like, just him being an Avenger is kind of like, oh, he's good with a bow and arrow.
Right. I like that they're also exploring that he's kind of getting his comeuppance for what happened when he was Ronin.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things move forward. I was very pleased with the first 2 episodes.
I would say
that this has a really good potential to do well.
If it holds, if it does what it keeps doing, it can be as good as WandaVision.
Yeah.
In a different way.
Yeah.
WandaVision, of course, is so much out there and like what. And like at the end of the day, I think both of us, I know you already initially had said that, and I at the end I kind of leaned more that WandaVision is the best of those shows so far, but I think this can be as good. I mean, it could be better in a sense of like you and I both like the grounded storylines.
Sure.
And wherever this leads going forward with everything too may be different. But I think and there's no reason to doubt it either. I think this can be as good as WandaVision, if not better. I mean, depending on, as good as WandaVision's pretty solid because you and I were like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I think it certainly will be better than Loki, which I thought was the weakest of the original 3 shows. And then I think that it'll probably be better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I do too.
So we'll see if it, we'll see how it holds up. I think part of it is just the fact that this is one of the Avengers. This was supposed to be a movie, you know what I mean? And then they dialed it back and it's okay, we're going to make a show out of it. So he's one of the original guys, and I think that there is a little bit of maybe like panache to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also Jeremy Renner is almost like, not that Tom Hiddleston isn't it, not that, but like Jeremy Renner's done like some stuff.
Yeah.
Before Avengers, before and after Avengers that really stands out. So it's just like he's a really good
he's pretty hot right now because he's got that show on.
He's like Hansel.
He's got something on like Paramount Plus, I think.
Right, like he's doing a lot of different things.
Mayor of Kingston or something.
Yeah, which that show looks awesome.
Yeah,
I need to watch that.
Yeah,
but it's just like he's someone that like actually is like bigger, not bigger than Marvel because you can't say you're bigger than Marvel, but like this is a guy that's done stuff and
I mean he
came back to this for a reason.
Chops.
Yeah, he came back to this for a reason. So
yeah, and I think here's the other thing is not to discount Hailee Steinfeld because through the first 2 episodes she's done well as well. Yeah, and I think really that they've got good on-screen chemistry.
She is just the like to me she's not with Scarlett out of the mix now. She's kind of the perfect complement to him because she still doesn't take his crap. Yeah, and that's the thing you have to deal with when you're that character's side to Jeremy Renner on these movies.
Yeah,
but we will both of us I think positive.
Oh, definitely.
That's where I'm definitely positive.
I was ready for more.
Me too. Yeah,
immediately, and I hadn't gotten that since like bits and pieces with Falcon and the Winter Soldier and bits and pieces with Loki, but on a week-to-week basis, I haven't gotten. I want the next thing now. Like since WandaVision with these particular,
I agree
with these particular shows. I will say this though, as great as WandaVision was, and as great as this looks like it's going to be, still not as good as The Mandalorian.